Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Anything what is to be shared? Anybody has got any point? Papa called the ashram Anandashram and the place Ramnagar, literally Ram's dwelling. Thus began in mid 1931 a unique labor of love that translated itself into what is known to all of Papa's flock as the ashram today. Overnight, as it were, under Papa's gentle loving touch, the barren hillock transformed itself into a rich, verdant green haven for tired bodies and weary souls. Little do those of us who came into contact with Papa in later years know how Papa brought about this transformation. Even less do we perhaps realize when walking in the cool shade of the spreading tree around the ashram that it was Papa's own hands that planted them, or the debt of gratitude that we owe to this godsend gardener who not only sowed the seeds of Ramnam in our souls, but also gave us a place to refresh our bodies. Papa took on himself the task of turning the barren spot of earth into what now it looks. Getting saplings from different places, Papa planted them around the ashram, carried pails of water and watered them, tended them till they grew to a size where they could look after themselves. My mother used to tell me what a sight for gods it is. It used to be to see Papa engaged in gardening, his soft hand that had turned deep pink over the years grinned with soil, his gentle eyes suffused with rare tenderness as he looked after these frail saplings as a mother would her infant. Rain or shine, Papa would work on mornings and evenings with a small shovel. Papa loved flowers. He planted many flower plants in rows around the ashram. Trees, plants, Papa would say, have the same sensitivity as human beings and responded as much to tender care. He would never permit indiscriminate chopping of any trees in the ashram gardens. There is one mango tree just outside, eternal joker. In the ashram hall, almost throughout the day, ashramites and visitors sing Ramnam in different tunes. This builds up an atmosphere of soothing peace and becomes the turbulent mind. The tune that is sung most often is one that is loved by all devotees and has come to known as Papa's tune. This tune holds the prime praise not only because it is utterly sweet and its melody is so haunting, but also because it was this tune to which Papa had set Ramnam, which he had first started repeating the mantra during his days of sadhana. Speaking of those early days of sadhana, Papa used to tell us how he was trying to control the mind to concentrate, repeating Ram Ram. One day, Papa's father, who had heard of Papa's sadhana, visited the house where Papa was and gave him the Upadesh, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, the Taraka mantra, enjoined upon Papa, but Papa added the prefix Om to the mantra, followed his Guru's advice very literally. He thought that always meant round the clock. Thus began Papa's association with Ramnam, which we all know and love today. There was an idol of Lord Krishna with a flute in his hand at his brother's place in Mangalore, and Papa would go there regularly for bhajan. Papa would sit before his idol like, do you know how sweet Ramnam is? It's a joy to sing it, to chant it. The joy of Ramnam is something that comes to the man who has it on his lips, not after many years of sadhana, but from the very moment he takes it on his lips. It is the one sadhana which has none of the rigors of the sadhana, but on the other hand, makes sadhana itself a thing of joy forever. Do you know why it is so? Why it is so? Because when you repeat or sing Ramnam, you are dwelling your mind on Him who is love. You are dwelling on your mind on Him who is love, light, and bliss. Just as light floods a room the moment you switch on, so does love, light, and bliss flood your being through and through, permeating every part of you the moment you start repeating Ramnam. Those who have known the sweetness of Ramnam are heirs immediately to all the joy of life eternal promised at the end of the sadhana. In fact, there are many devotees of the Lord who, having tasted the sweetness of Ramnam, would not like to have anything of the ultimate ones with the divine. They would like to remain devotees all their life to relish the sweetness of Ramnam. Ramnam is the panacea for all ills of the body and soul, Papa would tell us. Once half jokingly and half seriously he said, whoever comes to Ramdas with his or her burden of woes and cares, Papa has only one tonic to offer, Ramnam. Some of them go back disappointed that Ramdas did not prescribe elaborate yogasanas and the like, or sadhanas like breath control, standing on one's leg, and so on. What need is there for all these rituals and practices when Ramnam can give you all the joys of the three worlds? Ramnam is verily the path of surrender, absolute surrender to Ram, whose glories you remember when you chant Om Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. When you sing Ramnam or any other name of the Lord, you are not worried what happens to you. He takes care of you. He who planted the seed of Ramnam in your heart sees that it takes root, blossom forth, making you an instrument for his service. It matters little how and when he does, as long as the greatest prize on earth, the sacred Ramnam, is on your lips. Read some more and then see. Papa's madness for Ramnam in his early days of sadhana, when he was still a householder, scared his well-meaning relatives who thought Ramdas had lost his wits. There were some who suggested that Papa should be taken to a waterfall and kept under the fall until he became normal. Papa said that there was one person who was deputed by the host of relatives to come to Papa and talk reason and to prevail upon him to return to the normal ways of the world. Papa said that the moment he stepped into his room, where Papa was pacing up and down singing Ramnam, he asked why this gentleman had come. Look here, Papa told him, even before the poor fellow had opened his mouth. Ramdas is determined to sing Ramnam and go on singing it until these four walls resound to the sound of Ram Nam. The well-meaning relative but a hasty retreat without ever saying a word. Such was Papa's love for Ramna, which was destined ultimately to take him out of the worldly ways of life and make him Ram's Das, with the whole world transformed into the very being of his beloved Ram. Yet, Papa never advocated the path of worldly renunciation to his devotees who came to the ashram, although some of them were resolved to give up all just as Papa himself had done many years ago. If Ram wills that you should renounce the world and become a sannyasin, the call will come from within and the resolution made for you by him. It will then be an irresistible call to which you have no other alternative but to submit. Ramdas can tell you to go on repeating Ramnam and to gather its sweetness. It is sufficient to give you all that you seek without ever having to tread the rigorous path of sannyas. Papa would tell the devotee who came to seek his advice whether he should take sannyas that even when Ram's call comes, the devotee would never need to ask advice from outside. Once a devotee asked what was the difference between mere repeating of Ramnam and singing or humming it in some tune. Papa said that when one just went on repeating Ramnam, there was a likelihood of his mind wandering all over the place. On the other hand, when Ramnam was sung or hummed in a tuneful way, the melodious tune would help immensely in the early stages in stilling the mind, enabling the devotee to concentrate on the glories of the divine name. Papa gave the allegory of nursery rhymes taught to children in the kindergarten classes. In order to teach the infant mind and enable to grasp quickly, the teacher taught the child to read a sing-song tune. Later on, as the child learned his tables and alphabets and memorized them thoroughly, there would be no need for the sing-song tune. Similarly, in order to make Ramnam thoroughly embedded in the mind of the beginner, singing to some tune would help because the human soul loved the sound of music. Once Ramnam had entered your mind and soul, permeating it through and through, it would go on your lips without any conscious effort, stopping only when the name and its votary became one. Papa used to say that in the ashram, Mataji had made everyone a votary of Ramnam. The workers sang Ramnam while working in the fields or in the kitchen. The children of Sri Krishna Vidyalaya sang it before beginning their day's studies, and visitors were also drawn to the Ramnam circle, as Papa called it. Papa would say that is the main mission of the ashram. Spread the name of the Lord far and wide. If in the course of passing years the ashram had grown in size and so many buildings and amenities added, it was only in order to enable the devotee to forget the cares of mundane existence completely and devote himself wholly to remembering Ram. Mataji, Papa said, was so anxious to make devotees who came here feel completely at home and that she saw to it that all the comforts of a home were provided here. She had hoped that this would enable the devotee to make a rapid spiritual progress, having nothing else to do but to devote himself or herself to Ramnam. She was however disappointed when she found many people were still lost in worldly pursuits even after coming to the ashram and too busy to devote any time of the day to Ramnam. In fact, some even resented that Mataji should ask them to repeat Ramnam. The ashram, Papa said, should not become a place where people foregather only to gossip, talk ill of another person, pursue all the mundane ways which they do in their everyday life. They could, in such a case, as well remain at home. The very aim and object of starting the ashram was that it would help the devotee to remember him and to learn to see him in all beings by giving opportunities to serve all. The ashram is meant to be an abode of universal love and service, where one learns to look on all forms as those of Ram. Only then this ashram will have served its purpose. So he clearly outlines, what is expected of us. Chanting, we are all doing it. What about the other matters? The ashram, Papa said, should not become a place where people foregather only to gossip, talk ill of one another, and pursue all the mundane ways which they do in their everyday life. The very aim and object of starting the ashram was that it would help a devotee to remember God and to learn to see God in our being by giving opportunities to serve God. Ashram is meant to be an abode of universal love and service, where one's to look on all forms as those of Ram. Only then this ashram will have served its purpose. This is happening because, in spite of our chanting in the ashram, we have not still integrated with our life. Blunt truth. We go for Ramnam fixed hours. But the real purpose today he is revealing to us. Where one learns to look on all forms of oneself. So each one has to find out some method. Namosava is one step towards that, no doubt. Broadening our vision. So when we bring the examples, we are trying to integrate Ramnam with our real life, inner as well as outer. This message we have to keep on pondering. As long as we have partitioned, set apart this to a particular hour in a particular place, it has not been integrated. Tough job, toughest job. But that is the purpose. The very aim and object of starting the ashram was that it would help a devotee to remember him and to learn to see him in all beings by giving opportunities to serve all. So when we come for a visit to the ashram, we join, we go back. And if we don't make an effort to integrate it with the non-chanting time, how will we develop this habit when we go out? No? Whatever we do during the non-chanting time, we should be able to integrate it. So when in our Namosava, when we say the vehicle becomes useful only when we put fuel into it. So we start thinking the petrol or diesel or electric current, it brings out it brings out a power from the fuel or from the electric power, which takes care of the entire movement of the vehicle, though distinct in its behavior, in its nature. So when we start thinking, this is also, he has brought this vehicle, automobile, but we use it as a utility. We view it only from the utility point. So the Ramnam chanting should enable us now to teach us this, that the power generated by the fuel activate the entire mechanism of the automobile, different departments. Similarly, he in the form of life force inside activate the different distinct activities of our various organs. So how do we integrate? Now, this is one example. Suppose we are dealing with accounts. What does it teach us? How do we integrate spirituality? The basic function of an account, when we were taught, it evaluates and gives us our present position. Every now and then when we draw the income and expenditure account, balance sheet, we know where we are. Whether it's on the liability side or the asset side, where we should improve, which are the areas to improve, how to cut down overheads. That means economizing, So similarly, there are so many things that are happening in our thinking, talking and doing. Periodical evaluation is necessary. We have to draw the balance sheet inside. Like that, any department, suppose we do some thinking, because it has come from him, When there is no accountancy, he brought it through somebody else. So originally it has come from him. So naturally it will have its own sway over it, influence over it, impact over it. But unfortunately we were not taught like that. We were taught as a subject and later on probably as a profession. Anything you take. That means how are we integrating spirituality with our daily life? A carpenter, when we order for a furniture, he has the raw material, the wood, but imagination is there. He has the tools and his perseverance and one-pointed effort. Merely a raw material cannot do that. Merely an imagination or intelligence, planning cannot. Merely the tools cannot. But all put together, it brings out a building. Similarly, God has given us various. He has given us a body, mind, intellect. He has made available to us a beautiful world outside. Every time teaching us so many things. But there should be a coordination of what the inputs and a commitment to the ideal. When we keep the flowers for flower offering. No? We start thinking about where from the flower has come. Different shape, different color, different types of leaves. It is not by human effort it has come. We don't know the first seed of a particular fruit. So he has it. And each one is governed by its own laws, its own characteristics. And it is plucked. And there is an art in keeping it with a thread. Every time. So it is not that we are doing the flower making for flower offering. When I type out something, when I bring out an article, the alphabets he has given, grammar he has given, and he has, through many of his creation, made us know how to use the word to convey. And if you closely observe, you will find your commitment to the ideal brings out the idioms, phrases, presentation. It is not what you heard from others. Because internally he will tell you, no, you have to improve, no, you have to improve, no, you have to improve. Replace this word, replace this expression, replace that. No? If we stop with drafting out a letter or a presentation, it might be okay for the outside world. But integration means I must try to do that. He has brought all these things. He gave us an opportunity to bring it out, to serve his being. The reader is also he. But I should do it. I should do it with that conviction. Like that in each and everything, whether it is cooking, whether it is sweeping, whether it is cleaning, if the integration does not take place or an effort to integrate does not take place, even when we chant Ram Nam at a specified hour in a specified place, it cannot help us much, except what we enjoy during that particular period. This is what Papa now wants us. That is why he is now prompting us to concentrate on this Namotsava, so that slowly we will try to demolish the divide between our usual life and the Nam Nam chanting. Please think over. Some manana should be done, not merely hearing and going. Some manana should be done, not at the superficial level. Behind every innovation, behind every discovery, behind every invention, we know now that the going within, what you call is inquiry, questioning, research, he has given that. To serve his forms. He gives the raw material. He gives this inquiring tendency. Yes. We remember in our childhood days, we dig a well and then put some timber or something, and then our bucket we just dig. Very difficult. There is a likelihood that children will fall. But somehow with practice, then we came to know that pulley, somebody brought pulley. So and then safer. Then in Almira to prevent us from finally done. We don't know that person who conceived that. At one point it must. And he did not say that it should be used only by him or his family. So during the non-chanting time, suppose we try to analyze each and everything that we are engaged in, probably the process of integrating with the daily life, it might slowly take place. We all need it. Those who are in ashram also, or who feel that they are involved in ashram seva, outsiders also should take this message, insiders also should take the message. Are we integrating? Are we integrating this Ramnam with our daily life? Which is what Papa Mataji wanted us. When they set up this ashram, that was their idea. Mutual love and respect. The Lord is our guide in all matters. So if there are any gaps in the form of disturbance, biased views, immediately we should know the integration has not taken place. As a spiritual aspirant, we are not talking about the way in which we handle others. As a spiritual aspirant, we always feel the gap has come because we have not integrated it properly. For that, this manana is very, very important. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant, so we have to keep on. So Ramnam should enable us to remind this. Because chanting of Ramnam is limited in our whole waking hours. Suppose we get up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning and retire to bed by 10 o'clock. So if you get up at 5 o'clock, it means 7 plus 10, 17 hours. It may vary from person to person. Out of the 17 hours or say 16 hours, how much time we are spending for Ramnam? Maybe half an hour, 1 hour, at best 2 hours or 3 hours pass. Rest of the time, what do we do with what mental attitude? It has got its own impact in Ramnam. Common sense says so. So unless and until we try to integrate the ideal envisaged by Papa Mataji, it still remains a distant reality to us. Now, what happens unknowingly is we bring the norms which we have already developed during the non-chanting time. Our rights and wrongs, our likes and dislikes, our preferences, our priorities, which are there throughout our life, we have gathered. Our preconceived notions. All these things weigh during the non-chanting time, even probably during the chanting time also. We may find, if we have opened our eyes, we may see, we may not hear fully who is coming, who is going, how somebody is behaving, whether he is disciplined or not disciplined, so many things. Anyhow, at least we will say we are at least sitting there for 45 minutes or there half an hour. Most of the time probably we might be engaging in nama chanting. But how much time? When we compare the non-chanting time and the chanting time, maybe 20% or 15 or less than that even. So what matters during the non-chanting time has its direct relevance on the chanting time. As an accountant, we are trying to draw the balance sheet now. Where are we now? In spite of making a lot of adjustments, still balance sheet is like this. It should be like this, What old book? First book. First book. First book. Correct. As the word ponder indicates, these points are to be reflected upon seriously. It will then help every aspirant to know as to how far he or she has progressed from the spiritual path, what the downpulling forces are that hamper progress, how to overcome a lethargic or rather lukewarm attitude towards sadhana, and by what means one's speedy spiritual progress can be ensured. By drafting it, we brought the word balance sheet. That's why we remembered. As the word ponder indicates, these points are to be reflected upon seriously. It will then help every aspirant to know as to how far he or she has progressed from the spiritual path, what the downpulling forces are that hamper progress, how to overcome a lethargic or rather lukewarm attitude towards sadhana, and by what means one's speedy spiritual progress can be ensured. Ashram, a sacred place to love and serve. Daily examine your failings, correct yourself. All devotees should live in harmony with those around and be a model for others. Hold fast to the high ideals set by Papa Mataji and make the ashram heaven of peace and bliss. Give up petty likes and dislikes, jealousy and hatred. Live in love and harmony. Keep watch over all your thoughts lest you should stray from the spiritual path. Introspect if spiritual progress is slow. Love purifies the mind and makes one dwell on God thought constantly. We are talking of integrating, integrating the purpose behind Ram Nam chanting with the outer life. Introduce universal prayer from childhood itself. Guru Seva not to be limited to the particular form of the Guru. Pure love makes one to see purity in others. Renunciation is perfect detachment from possessions. Devoted service to Guru and love for all is the key to divinity. Sadhaka should respect all. Resist the attack of downpulling forces. Virat Papa is in all forms and beyond. To be always in love and joy depend on God's name. Think, talk and do only that which takes you to the goal. Chanting should be backed by intense devotion. Sadhana not to be limited to specific hours or place. Lack of intensity retards progress. Guru Seva a must for sadhana. love expansively, and enjoy eternal happiness. See the finger of God in all events and individuals. Surrender to Guru, he takes care of you. Celebrations are exclusively for God remembrance. Erase the little I. Sole aim is to reach the source. So at this time, at the time of compiling this book, 28 messages given by Puja Swamiji on important occasion were compiled, and then in one line with points to ponder, that is the heading. What are the points? We may not be able to read the whole thing or derive the full benefit. So that is why the points were made. And then we keep on bringing it. So when we said balance sheet, we were remembering this book. Because that's the word first we used. It is to keep on checking whether our business of life is going on in the way in which it should. Whether it is creating encumbrances or whether it is giving us positive assets. This integration, this might help us. Once again I will read, she will hear now. Ashram, a sacred place to love and serve. Daily examine your failings and correct yourself. This was delivered on the occasion of Guru Purnima Day. Puja Mataji's Jayanti Day. All devotees should live in harmony with those around and be a model for others. Ashram's 60th Jayanti Day. Hold fast to the high ideals set by Papa and Mataji. Make the ashram a haven of peace and bliss. Guru Purnima Day again. Give up petty likes and dislikes, jealousy and hatred. Live in love and harmony. Puja Mataji's Jayanti Day. Keep watch over all your thoughts, lest you should stray from your spiritual path. Virat Papa's Sannyas Day. Introspect, his spiritual progress is slow. Virat Papa's Mahasamadhi Day. Love purifies the mind, makes one dwell on God thought constantly. Unity of all religions. Introduce universal prayer from childhood itself. Puja Mataji's Jayanti Day. Guru Seva not to be limited to the particular form of the Guru. Puja Swamiji's Jayanti Day. Your love makes one to see purity in others. Virat Papa's Sannyas Day. Renunciation is perfect detachment from possessions. Possessions are not bad. Only attachment to the possession. Puja Mataji's Mahasamadhi Day. Devoted service to Guru and love for all is the key to divinity. Virat Papa's Jayanti Day. Sadhaka should respect all. Guru Purnima Day. Resist the attack of down-pulling forces. Papa's Mahasamadhi Day. Virat Papa is in all forms and beyond. All India Radio Kannur, Philosophy and Common Man. Satsang program 28th August. To be always in love and joy, depend on God's name. Puja Mataji's Jayanti Day. Think, talk and do only that which takes you to the goal. Virat Papa's Sannyas Day. Chanting should be backed by intense devotion. Virat Papa's Jayanti Day. Sadhana not to be limited to specific hours or place. Papa's Mahasamadhi Day. Lack of intensity retards progress. Puja Mataji's Jayanti Day. Guru Seva a must for sadhaka. Swamiji's Jayanti Day. Love expansively, enjoy eternal happiness. Satsang program 18th December. See the finger of God in all events and individuals. Period Papa Sannyas Day. Surrender to Guru, he takes care of you. Period Papa Jayanti Day. Celebrations are exclusively for God remembrance. Guru Purnima Day. Erase the little eye. Period Papa's Mahasamadhi Day. Soul aim is to reach the souls. So when we are talking about integrating, do you want something urgently? Anyhow, so coming back, integration, that is what is needed. Today's take-home message is like that. The ashram should not become a place where people gather only to gossip, talk ill of one another, pursue all the mundane ways, which they do in their everyday life. They could in such a case as well remain at home. The very aim and the object of starting the ashram was that it would help a devotee to remember him and to learn to see him in all beings by giving opportunities to serve all. Ashram is meant to be an abode of universal love and service, where one learns to look on all forms as those of Ram. Only then this ashram will have served its purpose. So we keep on praying to guide us whenever we go off the line. Seated within us, he should pull us back and put us on the reins. With that bhavana, we will have 5 minutes of Ram now. Prayer should go along with the Ram. But then only it comes from the heart. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram,
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Hari Om, Hari Om to everybody.
Dr. Swayambhu, it seems, he sent an email. So 2-3 times he's reading.
I'll
Read
check
out
it out.
again for what?
Sujit has come. I'm coming. I'm just coming. Sujit has come to repair the.
Some Dr. Swayambhu, it seems, Swamiji, he sent an email. He is a secretary.